used to write edgy poetry. You could probably still find it. Did I ever share you my edgy poetry back in high school? Do you share? Oh, my poetry? That's kind of embarrassing. Menchie post? Oh, yo, should I lock it behind money? Oh my god. Yo, I love it. I love how you think. Lock my cringy high school poetry behind money. Yes! I knew it. I knew my high school poetry was going to make it big one day. Weirdest stream idea. Submit your edgy, cringy teen stories when you did poems, singing, drawing fanfic. You guys want to know? I used to think about like various stories. I was a very what's the word? Creative man. What a shame. Whatever happened to me, man. I had various stories in my head. Super cool stories, like fantasy stuff. So much so, I spent so much time on these stories that like back in middle school, I think I was like not even going outside or just thinking about my stories in my head. My mom was like, yeah, why don't you like, go outside and play with friends? I'm like, I have my friends in my head. I'm like, oh no. Oh. The voices in my head. Yeah, they're so strong. Nowadays, I kind of miss that. Every time I try to so back in the day when I did these things, when I thought about these stories in my head, I remember them quite clearly and I could quite literally save load, if that makes sense. But now when I load my story, I could load my story in my head, but I can't seem to I can't seem to write more in my head. I probably sound crazy, but like my creativity is so it used to be so much better, and I miss my youth. Oh, back in my day, I used to write stories in my head. They were beautiful, grandiose stories. Oh, young one, do you want to hear a story? I think everyone should write at least an autobiography. One of my biggest not regrets, but one of my biggest, I guess, wait, what's the word for like regrets? I guess it is regrets. One of my biggest regrets is not speaking to my, oh god, I'm sorry, this is a little depressing, but my other grandfather also passed away. He passed away 2 years ago, I think, ish. But my biggest regret was that he kind of became like, unable to speak. He became too sick. He was unable to speak too early. So by the time I was, actually old enough to kind of like hang out, kind of like talk with the adults and things like that, it was a little too late, if that makes sense. And I really wish that he wrote an autobiography like my other grandfather, because at least my other grandfather, even though he recently passed away, I still feel like I can know more about him, and I'm really happy that I know his story. Obviously, probably not his full story, but like at least I have something in the form of a book, and it's really nice. I wish I knew more about my grandfather, my other side, and of course similarly for my grandmothers as well. But my grandfather in particular, I really wanted to know more because I really looked up to him when I was younger. He was a man of great authority. Like quite literally, he worked in the government, and he actually had a pretty high position. And I always wondered, like, wow, like what must you do to have to be in such a position? But I never really got to talk about that, and I wonder about that. I do wonder about that slightly. So yeah, that's my little mandate to you guys. Start recording some things that happens in your life.